The Ten Commandments. Part 1. The Mountain of Waiting. Good evening, dear listener. As you let go of the day, let your thoughts soften, let your body sink into rest, let your spirit become still. Tonight, we journey to a mountain, a place of quiet thunder, a place where the heavens met the earth. This is the story of the Ten Commandments. But before the stone tablets, before the lightning, before the law, there was waiting. The people of Israel had left Egypt. Not long ago, they were slaves, bowed under bricks, under Pharaoh's power. But now they walked free, led by Moses, led by God. They passed through parted waters. They sang by the shores. They followed a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. Now they camp at the base of Mount Sinai. The mountain rises like a sleeping giant. Sharp edges, dusty wind, silence heavy in the air. The people build their tents, cook their food, tend to children, but their eyes keep drifting upward, because something is happening. Something in the stillness, something in the sky, and Moses climbs, alone, step by step, sandals brushing stone, heart full of wonder and awe. He reaches the top, cloud surrounds him, the world below fades, and he waits, not for minutes, but for days. Let that settle in you. Sometimes, the most powerful moments start not with action, but with waiting, with stillness. This is where the story begins. Part 2. A Covenant of Fire and Smoke. The days pass, and the people grow restless. They watch the mountain. It doesn't speak. It doesn't move. But then one morning it begins. Thunder rolls through the sky. Lightning dances in the clouds. A trumpet sounds loud and strange, not from human lips. The ground shakes, and fire rises on the mountain. Not wild, not destructive, but glowing, like the bush long ago, burning but not consumed. Moses stands at the edge. The people behind him, all watching, all waiting. Then God speaks, not with chaos, not with rage, but with words. Clear, simple, eternal. If you obey my voice, if you keep my covenant, you will be my treasured possession. You will be a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. And Moses brings the words back to the people. Their answer comes in one voice. We will do everything the Lord has said. So God calls Moses higher, further up the mountain, into the cloud. He climbs again, into mystery, to receive not just words, but a way to live, a way to walk with God and with each other. Let that truth sink in. Before the commandments were rules, they were relationship. God saying, "You are mine, and I am with you." Part 3. The Voice of God. The mountain groans with thunder. Smoke curls upward. The people wait below, silent, still, hearts trembling. Then a voice, not distant, not imagined, but real, loud, steady. God speaks, not in riddles, not in secrets, but with truth as clear as light. The Ten Commandments are not shouted in anger. They are given in love, in structure, in peace. The first words echo through the valley. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. A reminder. Before rules, relationship. Then you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make idols. You shall not misuse my name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Each commandment like a stone placed gently on the soul, not heavy, not cruel, but grounding. Then more, honor your father and mother. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not give false testimony. Do not covet what belongs to your neighbor. 10 words, 10 ways to live in peace with God and with each other. The voice fades, but its echo stays in the air, and the people, they are overwhelmed. They ask Moses, "You speak to us. Do not let God speak again, or we will die." But Moses answers gently, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that his fear may be with you, to keep you from sin. Let that rest with you now." These were never just rules. They were protection, invitation, a rhythm for holy living. Part 4. Stone and Silence. The voice has spoken. The mountain still smokes. The people remain at a distance, awed, humbled, afraid. But Moses stays. He steps deeper into the cloud, into the presence. There, God gives him more than words. He gives him stone tablets, written by the finger of God, etched with fire. Not just commands, but covenant. Moses holds them with trembling hands. He listens. He learns. God speaks not just of rules, but of worship, justice, mercy, and rest. Instructions for a tabernacle, a place where heaven would touch earth. A tent, not a temple. Mobile, simple, ready to move with the people through the desert, because God wasn't calling them to build walls, but to walk with him. The days pass, 40 of them, in the cloud, in the silence, in the presence, and below the people grow impatient, restless, anxious. Moses is gone too long. They forget the thunder, they forget the fire, and their hearts begin to wander. Let that settle gently in you. Even after great encounters, we are still prone to forget. Even after hearing God's voice, we sometimes return to old fears, but God's presence remains steady, patient, waiting. Part 5. The Golden Calf. Down below, the camp no longer waits. Moses is gone. The fire has faded from the mountain. And the people, they fear the silence. They gather around Aaron, Moses' brother. "Make us gods," they say. "We don't know what happened to Moses." Aaron hesitates, but gives in. He tells them, "Bring me your gold, earrings, bracelets, ornaments, all melted down, shaped by fire, and molded by fear, and out of it, a golden calf." They say, "This is the God who brought us out of Egypt." They build an altar. They dance. They feast. They forget. Not just the thunder, not just the fire, but the voice, the love, the freedom. Up on the mountain, God sees, God knows. He tells Moses, "Go down, your people have turned away so quickly." Moses' heart cracks. He descends the mountain, stone tablets in hand, and when he reaches the camp, he sees it, the calf, the shouting, the broken worship. His hands shake, and the tablets, the sacred covenant, fall from his grasp, shatter on the ground, because the promise has already been broken. Let that settle in your chest. Even in the shadow of the mountain, we forget who we are. Even after freedom, we run back to chains. But this is not the end. God's mercy is deeper than failure. Part 6. Intercession in the tent. The golden calf gleams in the firelight, but Moses doesn't look at it anymore. His heart is heavy. His hands are empty. He walks away from the noise, out past the camp, far into the silence. There, he sets up a simple tent. The tent of meeting, not fancy, not large, but sacred. Whenever Moses enters, a pillar of cloud descends at the entrance, and the people watch from their tents as the Lord speaks with Moses, face to face, as one speaks with a friend. Moses pleads with God. They've sinned, but please, don't leave us. He doesn't ask for punishment. He asks for presence. If your presence doesn't go with us, he says, do not send us from this place. And God replies, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Moses asks one more thing, quietly, humbly, show me your glory. And God, so gentle, says yes, but not all at once. You cannot see my face and live, he says, but I will place you in the cleft of the rock. I will cover you with my hand as I pass by, and you will see my back, but not my face. Let that rest with you. Even in brokenness, there is friendship. Even in failure, there is closeness. And God, full of mercy, does not walk away. Part 7. The second tablets. Morning comes slowly. Soft light spreads across the desert. The air is cool, quiet. Moses climbs again. Back to the mountain. Back to the cloud. This time he carries 2 new stone tablets. Blank, waiting, and God descends in the cloud. Not with thunder this time, not with shaking, but with words gentle, deep, true. The Lord, compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. Moses listens, his face turned down. His hands hold the stone. God writes again, the same commandments, but now, after mercy. The covenant is renewed, not because the people earned it, not because they remembered, but because God did. 40 days and nights. Moses stays on the mountain. No food, no water, just presence. When he returns, his face shines, literally glows, so bright the people are afraid to come near. He covers his face with a veil, but behind the veil is a man who met God and was changed. Let that truth settle in your heart. Even after failure, God writes again. Even when we break what's given, he offers it once more, because his faithfulness does not depend on ours. Part 8. A people set apart. The people gather again, not around idols, not in fear, but with reverence, with listening hearts. Moses shares everything God has told him, the commandments, the plans for the tabernacle, the ways to live as a holy people, and this time they respond, not with promises they forget, but with gifts. They bring gold, silver, fabric, wood, everything needed to build a place for God's presence. Men and women come freely, joyfully, their hands give, their hearts open, and the people build, not just a tent, but a reminder, a space where heaven touches earth, where fire hovers above, and the voice of God meets them again. A tabernacle, carried through the desert, set up wherever they stopped, because God wasn't just in the thunder, He was in the journey, in the walking, in the resting. And now with the commandments written again, with the people realigned, a new rhythm begins. Sacred rest, honest worship, justice, kindness, and order. Let that image rest with you. This is what the commandments were always meant to be, not rules to crush, but guidance to protect. Not walls but pathways, ways of peace, handed down in fire and carried through the wilderness with hope. Part 9. A law written in stone and spirit. The commandments were given twice, first in fire, then in mercy, carved into stone, but meant for the heart. They weren't just laws for a nation, they were a way of life, a rhythm. Do not steal, because trust matters, because people should feel safe. Do not lie, because truth is sacred, because words can build or break. Do not covet, because peace begins with contentment. Honor your father and mother, because families need respect to grow strong. Remember the Sabbath, because rest isn't weakness, it's holy. Each commandment, a thread, woven together to create a life of meaning, not perfection, but intention. And the people didn't just carry the tablets, they carried the memory of fire, of failure, of forgiveness. They would forget again. They would stumble again. But the words would remain, passed down, taught to children, whispered under stars, written on doors, written on hearts. Because laws etched in stone can be broken, but when they are written in love, they stay. Let that truth settle deep inside you. God didn't give rules to control. He gave a way to live in peace, with Him and with each other. Part 10. The journey continues. The tablets are placed inside the Ark of the Covenant, a wooden chest covered in gold, carried with reverence, not because the stone is magical, but because of what it means. A reminder, a covenant, a voice that spoke on a mountain and never stopped speaking. The people continue their journey through wilderness, through wonder, through struggle, through grace. They don't always follow perfectly. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they fall. But the commandments are always there, not just behind the veil, not just in the ark, but within, in how they treat each other, in how they rest, in how they love. And one day, generations later, another man will climb a hill, not Sinai, but another mountain. And he will say, I have not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. Because the commandments were always about more than right and wrong. They were about love, about trust, about living with God and with each other in peace. As you rest tonight, know this: you are not just a name in the crowd, you are part of the story. The same voice that spoke to Moses speaks still, not always with thunder, but in quiet moments just like this one. Sleep well, dear listener. You are seen, you are remembered, you are loved, and the journey continues.